Hey, my name is Niels, and together with my wife, we are the couple coaches. And today I want to talk about how to save your marriage. And this video is all about communication, how you can completely turn your communication to much more meaningful, productive conversation in your marriage to literally save your marriage. There are two parts of communication. Actually, there's three, but we're talking to just about two parts, which is nonverbal and the verbal communication. And the verbal communication is all about words. So the spoken language is verbal communication. Non-verbal is not about the words, it's about your body language, it's about how you look at someone. So it's eye contact, it's touch, it's also the tonality. And especially the tonality can make a huge difference. That's actually basically where women are really good. They're extremely good with non-verbal communication. One type of non-verbal communication is, for example, rolling eyes. The other one is the tonality. And I want to bring you one example with a tonality. Hey, for example, hey, I love you. Well, I love you. The same words. Or, of course I bring out the trash. Or, of course I bring out the trash. It's the same word. It's just completely different perceived by the other person and just simple on the way how I react and how I use my tonality and even my body language. Because when I go together, like, of course I bring out the trash. Well, of course I bring out the trash. This is a huge difference. You're learning about that it's not always about the words you say, it's all about how you say them, how you transfer them, how you positioning as a person on front of the other person. Do you have eye contact? Do you stand straight? Do you smile? Do you roll the eyes? Do you cross your arms? Do you slightly turn away? So this is all about nonverbal language. The worst part of communication is if you stop communication. When they have issues and they don't talk about it. Basically, they just keep them for themselves, and you sense that. You have this sense there's something wrong, but she's not going to tell you. So if you're in a communication, you have to share your feelings. Communication is all about sharing your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. And this is something where a lot of people struggle. This is why a lot of divorces happen, because they don't allow this part of communication happen. They're not allowed to, or they don't share the communication for whatever reason. So important step to go there, to go from we interrupt each other while we are talking, is also a no-go, to, hey, I understand you and I give you the space to talk. And I want to bring you there in this video is the step number one is listening. If your partner is talking to you, listen and really focus. It's just active listening. It's not getting disturbed by your phone or by the dog or by anything else. It's you are here in the conversation with your spouse and you listen to the words coming out of her or his mouth. It's very important. And there's a 3-second rule. If the person who talks stops for 3 seconds, you're allowed to speak. You don't reply earlier than that. And in some cases happens, somebody speaks, stops speaking, and still processing something, and then keeps on speaking again. And it happens quite a lot after 2 seconds that somebody keeps up speaking. You don't want to interrupt that flow. You don't want to interrupt the thought process. Because when we think about something to say, we sometimes stop speaking to process what we want to say, and then we keep on saying that. So this is why, again, the 3-second rule is very important. You listen to the partner and you stop speaking while listening. You pay attention And once your partner stops speaking, you wait for 3 seconds. And then you acknowledge her and you say, hey, thank you for him. Thank you for saying, and I picked up this, and that. If he said about, hey, I'm struggling with this, and you acknowledge what the person is saying. And this is important because the person wants to be heard, and he wants to or he or she wants to recognize that she has been heard by you. And you do that by thanking you for being so honest and thanking you, and also repeating what the person is telling you. And there is no way for judgment in the person in the communication, because a lot of communications go more like, you always do this, you always do that, and you stop doing that. This is all about, hey, I hear you. Because you have a problem in the relationship and you want to have a solution in the relationship. And there's no solution if you always start fighting about an issue. And with this first step, listening, 3 seconds waiting, and acknowledging what the person is the first step for stop fighting and stop fighting and going to this productive way to let's work together in our relationship. The first part is listening. The second part that I mentioned already is acknowledging what the person told you. Hey, thank you for sharing. I hear that. And the third part is finding these solutions, not going back and tell, hey, but I always say that to you. There's no way for judgment. Again, you want to find a solution. Always try to reply with an open question. Hey, what do you think? How could we proceed with that better? What do you think? What if we could do this or that? You guys are in a relationship. You want to work together in the relationship. You want to make this relationship work. You don't want to spend $15,000 in a divorce just because you could save that by better communication. You have a problem, talk to you, listen, responding. So this is very important. The next part is, and this is something where you each have to allow you to coach each other. Coaching means being open for feedback. And it's productive feedback. You guys are again, I repeat myself all the time. I want to make sure, because this is so important. You guys are in a marriage. At some point, you spoke your vows about, hey, we go through to good and bad. And maybe you're currently in this time where things are not working out as well, where it is the bad part. However, there's going to be a good part if you work on it together. And working it together means also being vulnerable and also being, hey, I need your help and I want to be coached by you. And coaching doesn't mean, very important, it doesn't mean that I'm going to tell you what you have to do. It's about, hey, just being aware how you talk to me. And there's one example. I want to give you one example. Like, and this is a process which takes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. So, because things you probably have problems like maybe 1, 2, 5, 10 years. So don't expect a magic pill. And again, one example. You guys have a conversation like some discussion going on, and someone is rolling the eyes again, and your partner would then be allowed to say, hey, I just seeing you rolling the eyes. Can you tell me what that meant? Can you tell me more about that? Instead of saying, hey, you just rolled my eyes at me again. How shitty is that? Or why do you do that? So be open. Or if somebody say, hey, you crossing your arm again. Can you tell me what is that about? Being inviting the person, not seeing that as a mistake, or again, I know what you said, but I picked up this tonality of whatever, can you tell me more about that? And this is okay. It's just about that you have to be, that you're willing to be coachable, that you are coachable, that you coach each other, so that you are willing to work on yourself, because we cannot see us outside. When I talk to my wife and I roll eyes, which can happen, I don't see that because I do that unconsciously, because that's something, a pattern that might have been there for, which might have developed for 5, 6, 10 years. Because I do it unconsciously, I don't see that anymore. And if my wife tells me, hey, just rolled your eyes on me, can you tell me more? Can you tell me how did you feel when you did that? Was there any emotion behind that? And I do that as well. If my wife suddenly stops speaking to me for whatever reason because she's sad, and I told her, well, babe, I see that you stopped communicating. I see in your body language that there's something wrong. Hey, would you be okay to share with me? Because I can understand why you have that. I can understand this, why you crossed the arm. I can understand why you like it changed your posture. I can understand why you did this eye rolling. And this is all about communication. It's all about listening. It's all about appreciation. It's all about how do you respond to someone. It's all about being allowed to coach each other. When you start your next conversation, I want you to forget everything that happened in the past. I know it's a lot of task for. However, you have to find peace with what happened in the past. Because if you always go back to the past, there is no way to have a new future. So if you want your marriage to work in the future, at some point you have to let go of the struggles from the past. Not saying that will be easy, not saying that you can do that but right away. However, I want you to let that go. And then I want you again, start the conversation from a new ground. Start listening when your partner is talking to you. And be very conscious while listening. And I know it's just very hard, because sometimes we have the tendencies to just, because we think we are right and we know what the person is saying, to interrupt the person. I want you to stop that. There's no more place for interrupting. I want your partner to give the space to talk until the person stops. You wait for 3 seconds, and then you acknowledge the person, what he or she said. I want you to recognize that or to repeat that in a way that you just want to make sure that you understand that what he or she expressed. Then I want to reply. And I want to reply in a way that you guys find a solution and not trying to like get more aggressive to each other. I want to find a way which is more solution driven. And then the and part is I want you to coach each other. I want you to allow you guys to coach each other. And I want to say that to each other. Hey, I want to make this marriage work, and I allow you to coach me because I want to be better. I want to be a better part of this relationship. So this is where you guys have to work on your own. And you can only work on your own if a person outside of you picks up these little nuances where you can work at. As mentioned, like rolling the eyes, like the body language, like the tonality, and all these little tweaks. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, please contact us anytime, and follow us on Instagram for more tips on this, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.